It's a great morning. Good morning, delivery fam. Good morning. And welcome to another episode of Breakfast with UDM. This morning, we have a special guest that some of you might know who it is, but some of you might not. And the reason why you might not know who it is because you probably weren't around when this person was out and doing their thing in the YouTube gig economy space. All right. Now, I don't want to take too long to give this person a major introduction, and I feel like they deserve it because if you learn from me, a lot of what I know came from this person. And I'm honored that they gave me this opportunity to interview them. All right. We're going to have a conversation this morning with somebody special. If you could unmute your mic for me, please. My special guest, unmute your mic and just say what's up to the family. Say good morning.
Good morning. Happy Monday.
If you could tell who that person is, if you know who that is, put it in the chat right now. Put it in the chizizat. We're gonna speak a little Ebonics this morning. Put it in the chat right now if you could tell that person's voice, who that person is. Anybody knows? Right, Shalisa? Yes, this morning we're going to be talking and having a good old conversation with Gig Coach Jake. Good morning, Gig Coach Jake. How you doing, brother?
Good morning. I'm doing well. Thank you. How you doing?
Now, I got to cut the music off, man. I got to cut the music off. Off. The reason why I got to cut it off, Jake, is because, like you just heard me say, man, you were a major influence on me when it came down to understanding the rights, my rights as an independent contractor. And back when you were doing videos, I was focused more on the entertaining gig economy worker channel type of content, you know? And every now and then I would go and check out your videos to see what you would say and how you would break certain things down. Now, I do know that a lot of your followers, a lot of your audience, they have questions, and some of your audience is a part of my audience as well. So I don't want to take too long. First I got to ask you this question. The beard. Where did the beard come from? Obviously it grew on your face, but I need to know, what's up with the beard? Is this a new thing for Gig Coach Jake, or is this like, I don't know. Tell us about the beard.
Yeah, I'm 42 years old. I never let the beard grow this far. I've been spending a lot of time in the mountains, and I didn't really have a reason to shave.
In the mountains?
Kind of let it go. And normally I have to shave it off once the facial hair gets a certain length because it gets real itchy. I can't deal with that.
I don't know about that life, Jake. I don't know about that life. I barely have anything, man. I let
it grow, and it didn't look too bad. And I'm like, heck, man, it kind of represents me, wild and free.
Okay.
And, I'm just letting it rock right now. I made a joke to family and friends that I'm gonna let it grow so long I could stroke it.
Okay, so I know the chat have some questions, but I'm gonna get to the chat in a minute. So please, chat, just save your questions that you might have for Gig Coach Jake. But I just want to have a quick conversation with him, and maybe I might ask one of the questions that you might have. So just hold off on your questions really quick. All right, so Jake, you've been a major influence on the driver community using the gig economy driver community, right? From rideshare to DoorDash. I think more of your videos were DoorDash related, correct? I know you did some Grubhub, but more related to DoorDash, correct?
Yeah, it just seems like there's a lot more people out there looking for DoorDash information in compared to Grubhub. And when I saw that there was a lot more help was needed in that, and that's where I put out more videos. But I did a lot of Grubhub stuff as well. So probably a little more DoorDash, but a good combination of both, especially when it comes to multi-apping. Okay. And using those two as examples.
Okay. All right. So when you decided to leave for the period of time that you left YouTube, what caused that? It was kind of abrupt for me. I don't know if anyone else felt that way, but it was kind of abrupt. Like, I was like, what happened to him? Would you mind explaining what caused you to take a brief? Well, how long were you gone? About a year, right? About a year?
I think a year and a half.
A year and a half. What caused you to leave for that long?
It was a combination of things. Dealing with some stuff in the family, my own mental health, my autoimmune, reaction I was having because of, just stress. And then, you had the pandemic, you had the election. There was a lot of negative energy out there. And it was kind of at a point with the pandemic where demand was so high that people are doing good by default. I mean, all you had to do is turn on the app and you're going to make really good money. You really didn't need a whole lot of help.
Right.
And it was my opportunity to step away and kind of work on some things that I wanted. I mean, I was getting angry. It was a combination of things. And so I had to step away and work on myself before I could really help anyone else. And now that the pandemic's kind of, to a point where the demand isn't as high, people are struggling in a lot of markets. These companies are back to their old tricks. I mean, like DoorDash has this, pause your dash after you've rejected so many, but yet in the contract, in the agreement, it says you're free at will to reject whatever offers that you see fit, in a way, in a sense that your business where you can make money. And actually, I think the words are to make a profit.
Okay.
Grubhub, they're up to their old games. I mean, before there was, I think as high as an $8 minimum on delivery offers. Okay. And at that point, whether you're a Premier or Pro driver, you were doing well because you had that safety net.
Right.
Now they're back to, and I knew it was only a matter of time before they'd start to work that down. It was $7 and $6, then $5. And I've seen as low as $2 something on those offers. And those people that are, tricked. I know I said some things on my last video and it was kind of a blanket statement to confuse some people. There's a small percentage of Premier Pro drivers that can do really well. It may be the market where the deliveries aren't as far, and so a smaller delivery. And then the ones that are $2 and $3, they can reject and still keep the percentage up, their acceptance rate.
Right.
Or they're working just dinners, just weekends. So there's a small percentage of people that have a system down. I believe it's Lynn. She's got an amazing system. I mean, she's using several different apps. She's found a way where she just shuts off Grubhub and keeps her acceptance rating high. So there is a small percentage of people that are working as true independent contractors, as Pro and Premier, but the majority, I'd say 80, 90% are just tricked into an employee relationship. And a lot of that comes from what we're used to, right? A lot of us come from a W-2 background. So when we get into gig work, we really don't understand what our rights are. And these companies take full advantage of that.
Right.
And the other thing they take full advantage of is fear. They prey on people's fear.
Right. Okay. So you taking this year and a half break, you saw all of this crap that was going on with the pandemic. And now that things have slowed down, you see that drivers need your help again. So, but before we even dive into your return, I personally, this is from my perspective, I thought you pretty much disappeared because of the feud. I guess I don't really want to call it a feud. It was just like one video from you, one video response. But when Bentley Coupe did his video and then you responded, after that, I just saw kind of like you just disappeared. So was that like your breaking point? Like, you know what? Let me get off of this because I'm going to lose my mind.
I would say that was the actual reason or like a breaking point. I think that was kind of a coincidence, but I don't do drama.
Right.
I didn't get into this to be getting in feuds with people. And again, like I said, I was at a point where with everything that was going on, I was getting pretty angry.
Okay.
So I'm like, you know what? I don't need this crap. Right. And it wasn't just that. I mean, there was comments.
Yeah.
People wanting to bash for whatever reason. I'm like,
yeah,
I'm not here for money. I'm not here for notoriety. I started my YouTube channel to help people and to get more awareness nationwide because I was helping a lot of people locally.
Mm-hmm.
and YouTube was the one way. Someone suggested, hey, you should get on YouTube and create a channel. It was a way that I could branch out and help a lot more people, which I have.
Right. But
when it got to a point where it was just a lot of negative energy for me, and again, I have to really manage and balance my stress because I get sick. I mean, I'll end up in the hospital. I lose a bunch of weight. I mean, people have seen me go from healthy to super skinny in certain videos.
And it's all because of your stress. You can't deal with too much stress.
Well, autoimmune. So what it does is it weakens my immune system. My body recognizes, my body thinks it's trying to fight off, some disease or ailment or whatnot. So then it creates this autoimmune response.
Right. Well, after you left for a while, there were a few comments that really raised a lot of concern, especially with your dedicated followers. Even myself, I saw comments that were saying like you got into a bad accident, you were in the hospital, and we were like, what the heck? Like, then I had your phone number, I was reaching out to you, you weren't responding, so I'm like, did he really get into a bad accident? And that's to show you how I gotta laugh at this, because that's to show you how you can't believe everything that you see or read on the internet. But I had a moment of panic, like, get Coach Jake been in an accident. I got his phone number. Let me reach out to him. I had people reaching out to me saying like, hey, you got to get Coach Jake phone number. They said he got into an accident. And we were like trying to figure out, okay, where do he live? He's in Phoenix. Okay, how do we get there? And how do we find him? Different things like that. It was going on. This was a while, maybe about, a short time after you left. I want to say maybe a couple of months or so. And, just seeing what was written in the comments, and we didn't hear from you for a while, and we knew, I believe you had some surgery done, correct?
Yeah, before that, I had my gallbladder removed. Somehow, I mean, I eat well, I'm active, I've always been a pretty healthy guy. So to end up with a large gallbladder that found out it was functioning at 3%. And I mean, you could feel the whole outline of it. They had to go and remove that. I ended up in the hospital. I was in and out a couple times, and the ER. And to touch on what you were talking about, I was going through a lot of doctor's visits. They were trying to figure out what was going on with my kidneys, my liver. So I was worried that my body, in a sense, it was kind of shutting down on me. I'm like, what the heck's going on? I had to find some point of balance and try and get myself to where I was healthy, and I wasn't dealing with all that. I mean, my body was going haywire, and I was like, what the heck, man? Okay. I'm eating right. I'm not doing this. I mean, I'm trying to do the best I can with stress. And, that's one reason why I spend a lot of time in the mountains and kind of getting away from society, technology, and just getting out there and enjoying the simple things of life, and a mental reset, if you will, on a regular basis.
Right. Well, you ended up putting a community post on your community tab, I think you said something. I want to pull it up here. Do you remember what you said? I want to read it verbatim.
No. And I want to apologize to everyone for just disappearing. I mean, there wasn't any notice or anything. I just poof.
Just disappeared. Sometimes for your mental health, I don't see anything wrong with it, brother. To be honest with you, sometimes you just need a break. You need a break. The world's
going crazy, man. I just had to get away from society.
Yeah. All right. You put 2 years ago. Where is it? Oh wow, you've literally posted a few things. But there was I should have done my little research before I went live with you. But the thing is, you did make a post about, I think it was this one.
I teased a comeback probably 6 months ago.
Yeah, you know what? Yeah, 7 months ago, I said, "Who's ready for some new content? I haven't gone anywhere. Still been killing the gig game as usual. Nothing has changed here." So I was like, is this him coming back 7 months ago? And it was very exciting to see that you made a post. A lot of people were excited to see that you made a post, but we still didn't hear from you. And then somebody else came around and said, a troll left a comment saying something was going on with you again. I think they said something about the virus. You caught the virus or something. But they were making up all kind of stuff, man. You know, so Jake, I want to say thank you for at least coming back, and those that really looked up to you, you just apologized. So, I mean, apology accepted from my end. Do you accept Jake's apology? If you accept his apology, just put a thumbs up emoji in the chat right now so he can see it for himself, because I know he's following it as well. All right, but so let's dive into your return. Obviously, you have a lot of content that you want to put out, right? You've been collecting. I've always called you the analytical gig tuber. Gig tuber is actually a fairly new word that I guess a lot of us started using, and it started floating around different channels. But you have a lot of content. Is there any new content that you feel that we don't know as a driver community about these platforms just yet, that you're planning on releasing? You don't have to go on the detail, but if you feel like there's some content that hasn't been touched on, is there any new content that you feel that we need to know that's very important that you have in your repertoire or on your bullet points?
Yeah, before I answer that real quick, I want to thank you for the kind words. I'm very humbled by your reaction, everybody's reaction to my comeback. I want to thank everyone that's left a comment, welcome me back. I mean, that hit right here. So definitely motivation for me to put out more content and videos. Again, I'm not here for money and notoriety. I created a YouTube channel to help the community and make a difference and disrupt what these companies are doing, which we still have the power to do.
Yeah.
So with that being said, there is one piece of content, and I'll put it out there, that people might not be aware about, because we all use the apps. People are aware about, the pausing from DoorDash and some of the things that Grubhub does. The people that work with Uber Eats, I know Uber Eats does something similar with pausing once you reject so many. And but the biggest thing is seeing what the American workforce has done in a W-2 to these corporations. And it really sets the bar and shows the rest of us what can be done and how much power we actually have. We hold the power, not these companies. They need us. We don't need them. Especially right now where you can go to like McDonald's or a lot of these places and make 15 to 18 an hour. There's a lot of drivers, that's what they're making. They're averaging 15 to 18 an hour. And with inflation, with the amount of money that we're having to spend for gas, for goods at the store, it is insane for anyone to be averaging less than 20 an hour. And most people's mark should be 25 an hour, because we pay taxes as an employee and an employer at 1099. Plus you're beating up your car. I mean, my car just hit 200. It's about to hit 225,000 miles. I got it when I started rideshare 4 years ago. I mean, just got paid off, but I beat the crap out of it. I've replaced a bearing. I've replaced my front axles, my brakes. I do most of the work on my car myself, which saves me a lot of money.
Yeah.
But that stuff's coming. For people to do this full time long enough, you're going to have some big bills. I'm about to have to replace my transmission. That's over $3,000. My engine I'm going to have to replace. That's over $3,000. These are things that people don't think about.
Right. Okay.
So,
well, looking. Go ahead.
The American workforce has shown what can be done. I remember I've seen a stat just recently of like 4.4 million people. It's like a record that have left their jobs and work. And as gig workers, we have so many rights and the ability to be our own boss. I always tell people, be a boss. You're your own boss. You just have to make the decisions and choices to be that.
Can I be honest and say at some point, I had a tough time when you were on YouTube and you were saying be your own boss and different things like that. I'll be honest and say I was having a tough time understanding, understanding what you meant by that. And at the time I did a video and I was like, well, are you a business? Because I was looking at it from pretty much a W-2 mindset. And I want to say at that time, I was focused only on Grubhub. I wasn't multi-apping. I wasn't just putting it out there that I had a tough time as a YouTuber or as an influencer. I had a tough time grasping what you were saying at that time because I'm like, what do you mean? You know, I couldn't understand it. I couldn't put two and two together. But then when I did a little bit more diving into not what you were saying, but actually doing my own research and understanding, okay, we're classified as independent contractors. What rights do we have? And understanding all of that and reading the agreements 4 and 5 times that we signed with these apps. I'm like, well, I understand what Jake is saying now. But at first I had a tough time doing that, man. So do you have a plan on just changing the minds of those that are willing to be open-minded, that are having a tough time like I did back then?
You really have to think about this as your own business. I mean, you can even use an LLC and file as a business, which people that did this, I mean, I think some of the first and second quarter, I don't know about the third, but you had COVID relief funds that were available to you last year. I know the rideshare guy did a video on that way back when.
Yeah.
People could do that. I mean, there was thousands of dollars because you essentially, you know, kept working, kept your business going and had someone employed, which would be yourself through that time. So there was a lot of relief funds that were available to gig workers that people didn't even know about. I know people that follow the rideshare guy, but prime example that we truly are a business and you're a business owner, and going into it with that mindset changes a lot of things as opposed to thinking you work for someone or you're a partner for someone. It's like, no, this delivery stuff with your car, that's your business. You have certain write-offs and things you can do with your vehicle, with your expenses. There's a lot of things we have to track. And when you do track it, I mean, we're supposed to pay taxes quarterly. A lot of things that you aren't used to doing and that you wouldn't have to do as a W-2. We don't have any benefits, no medical, none of that. And in some of the agreements, it talks about you're supposed to have not disability insurance, but trying to think, workman's comp. So there's some other things that are required that people don't even really know about that aren't necessarily enforced. But again, you are a business owner because you're classified as a 1099 in a sense. And you need to have that mindset and really think about what rights do I have as an independent contractor? You have the right to refuse any and all offers if that's what you see fit. And I've been as low as 0% acceptance rating a bunch of times on DoorDash, especially back when Grubhub was better. I was rejecting 95% plus of DoorDash, and then it flipped. And I always talked about don't give too much loyalty to one company or the other because things could shift. And I saw the shift where DoorDash was getting better and Grubhub started to decline. I mean, this is probably 2 years ago. And never have all your eggs in one basket because they can deactivate you or pause your account at any time for any reason. And you'll have to prove and get yourself back on. It's happened to me a half dozen times in the 2.5+ years that I've been doing food delivery. And it happened to me several times on rideshare where people can make fraudulent claims. You didn't deliver the food or whatever the case may be. I can't really think back to like rideshare, but I always had my dash cam. I always covered my butt and had some type of evidence to prove that the customer was full of crap because they're always going to take their side before they take ours. And we have to prove them wrong.
Yeah.
Before they will reinstate our account.
Right. Now, there was one point. I want to hear if you agree with me or you disagree. But as an independent business owner, I've been trying to help people realize that you're in a partnership with these apps. The same way they can deactivate you is the same way you could deactivate them. It's like meaning like you could terminate the contract with them as well. You don't have to. Don't be afraid. Oh, they're gonna fire me. Oh, they're gonna deactivate me. It's basically partner versus partner. If you want to terminate them, you can. Do you agree or disagree with what I said?
Absolutely. I mean, prime example is Grubhub. I do very minimal deliveries with Grubhub now. All their wait times, they're a filler for me. Right. There's times I shut them off last night. done. Turning you off.
Right.
I did DoorDash, just that one alone. And there's a certain point with DoorDash. If I deal with enough crap with them, I'll shut it off. I'll go about my day.
Right.
There was a short period where I did very little of both. I was spending most of my week up in the mountains. And yeah, I mean, there's a point where I know some people that took a long enough break from, say, DoorDash. All of a sudden, they're getting emails of incentives. Oh, if you come back and you do this amount of deliveries, we're going to give you, you know, a guarantee or a bonus.
Yeah.
Yeah, because they needed the workers.
Yeah.
They needed people to come out and make their deliveries. Now, there's a lot more power that we have.
Yeah.
And at any point in time, you can stop doing deliveries for that company. You can still stay, you know, active. I think with Grubhub, there's a period of time where if you aren't active, I don't know if it's 1 month, 2 months. I know that stuff always changes, where people's account will be paused or deactivated for not being active on there. But DoorDash, you could be inactive for months,
right,
and it just takes some deliveries. It's up to you.
Okay. So, get Coach Jake. All right, you've been gone by 2 years. Not on the community tab. You've been gone for a little bit. Right? Took your little break. You went up in the mountains. You grew your beard. You know, I don't know what you was doing up in the mountains, man, but it seems like, just going like climbing any mountain or just going up in the mountains for whatever, it just seems very peaceful. And to hear that you actually went up in the mountains to take a break from what was stressing you out, it kind of makes me want to go up in the mountains too, just kind of see what the experience is like. But I don't know if I'll be there by 2 years, Jake. I don't know. Maybe I'll come back with a head full of hair. I got a bald spot right here. I'll come back with a hair full of hair. It's just a different experience up there. I see. You came back. It seems like you're 100% now, and it seems like you're really ready to get back in the YouTube space and put out some content that people need to hear. But are you, I guess my final question, then we're going to go to the chat. Since this space stressed you out, along with other things, I'm sure, but since this space was one of the reasons why you got stressed out and you left, do you feel like your return, you're going to be able to manage this level of stress? Because it hasn't changed, Jay. It's still, I feel like it's gotten a little bit amplified a little bit. So do you feel like you'll be able to deal with this coming back?
Oh yeah. So one of the things I worked on was my own mindset and not giving a crap about what other people say or think. Okay. And knowing my intentions, knowing the stuff that I put out there. And yeah, some of it's my opinion. We all have our opinions. I'm going to be wrong. There's plenty of times where I've been wrong, and I'm going to be wrong in the future. But I'll own up to it. When I've made a mistake or said something that's wrong, I'll own up to it. But the biggest thing is not caring about what people like Betty Boop want to say about me. Because you know what? Betty Boop don't have a clue who Gig Coach Jake is. Betty Boop don't know what I've been through. Betty Boop don't know what my intentions are. Say whatever you want. If you want to get views somehow, creating drama, I don't care. So when people come into my feed saying, oh, well, this person said that and want to put a video link, I'm not even going to watch it because I really don't care. Say what you want. I'm going to do my thing. And so get into a headspace to where I really don't care what people are going to say or think, knowing that my intentions are pure and where my heart is and the stuff that I'm putting out. I've always tried to do a bunch of research and really know what I'm putting out there. So, for example, people are like, oh, you're going to get people deactivated. No. You can tell them that, and you can fearmonger all you want, but that's not the reality. And I've been proving it for years. I can tell you how many people say I was going to be deactivated for this or that. I mean, with Grubhub. And I laughed at the time. I was like, we'll see. And here I am almost 3 years later, still doing the same stuff.
Yep.
On these apps.
Right.
Nothing's changed. In fact, it's been easier for me because I don't have to worry about putting out content or dealing with all that. I just go out and hustle and do my thing. And I go out and enjoy my free time. and everyone can have something different. It did, you know what I mean? What is your mountains? What is something that puts you at peace? And for me, those drives up there really gave me a lot of time to think and process. My time up there, time to think and process, and really be grateful for a lot of things, and remind myself of how fortunate I am in life, because it was so easy to dwell on the negative, everything that's going on in the world, right? And people want to be mad about wearing masks, and I don't like wearing the mask, especially with the beard. But there's just a lot of things right now in the world that are riling people up, and for me, it's just a mental reset, and to go out there and enjoy the simple things, and remember that this is a good life. It's how you choose to live it. And it's so easy with social media to get sucked into all the crap.
Yes, it is.
But yeah, it's my own headspace. That's the difference now. And again, knowing that my heart's pure and my intentions are pure, and the haters or whoever, the trolls, they can say whatever they want. Awesome. Put a nasty comment on my channel, I'm just gonna block you.
Yeah.
I don't have any time for it.
Block and move on.
I might give some choice words and make them look stupid before I block them. but yeah.
All right. Well, to be honest, Jake, I'll just I want to, at this time, family, if you could put your questions that you might have for Jake, put it in the comment, in the chat right now. And at the end of the live stream, Jake, there's some that might watch on a replay. So if they ask questions, would you mind for like the next 24 hours? Well, not 24 hours straight, but for the next couple of hours, if you like just responded to the comments in the chat or in the comment section after the live stream, just in case they have questions that they weren't able to make the live stream, right? So I want to let you know, Jake, it was my turning point was when it was the beginning of 2019, when I was loyal to Grubhub all of 2018. Okay. I was loyal to Grubhub all of 2018, from time they gave me Grubhub for work, right? And early 2019, when they started changing, I think they added the estimated pay for distance and time, right? But they wouldn't give you anything additional. I think that was like 2019, early 2019, right? But my turning point was when, as a Grubhub driver, I was a premier driver. I started seeing, I had contacts with drivers, all my driver specialists. I had 8 different driver specialists. I was on my 8th one. And when I realized I'm working downtown Miami and I'm supposed to be this elite driver, at least that's how I viewed myself, because the contacts that I had that other drivers didn't have, right? I had a direct contact with my driver specialist. I had contact with the dispatchers at the time, right? I had all these direct contacts, and if I had any trouble with getting this schedule, I had all I had to do was make a phone call, and they would either create a schedule for me and get me on, or they would adjust my schedule, or they would just remove by Grubhub if I had a real situation and I didn't want it to hit my drop block rate. They were really taking care of me in that sense, right? But when my turning point was when I realized the schedules dropped, I'm a premier driver, and I could not get a block, and I could not get in contact with anyone. I'm in downtown Miami, and I'm like, wait, I've done so much for you guys, and you have done for me as well, but why this change? I can't even get a block. They only dropped 8 blocks. At the time, it was difficult because when the blocks dropped on Thursday, and then any partner driver it was hard for pro and partner to get them on Friday and Saturday. I'm like, why would y'all drop 8 blocks in this region down of Miami? Like, I'm a premier driver. At least that's how I was thinking. But then when I realized they don't care about you, bro. They're just making a business move. I'm like, so what the hell? At that time, don't get me wrong, Jake, I was panicking because I'm like, Grubhub is the only app I was working. I did not have DoorDash. I only had Uber, but Uber wasn't doing much for some reason. And I'm like, I'm panicking because this is my only source of income. And I'm like, y'all doing me like this for real after all I have done for y'all? I got pissed off and I said, you know what? I got to get this money. However I got to get it, I got to get it. That's when I started rejecting like crazy and I became a cherry picker. I rejected like crazy. I'm like, y'all want to do me dirty? Well, F y'all. Forget y'all. You know what I'm saying? I'm going to hit, nope, reject. I'm not doing that. I'm not taking however much it was low pay, going the distance. Like say $7 for like 20 miles. I used to do those, man. I used to do those and I ran up my mileage on my vehicle, my Honda Civic, by a ton, hundreds of thousands of miles. So I'm like, hey, nah, I'm done. I'm not doing this no more, Grubhub. Then I started branching out. I started multi-apping. And then I saw the benefit in multi-apping. And people would say like, oh, you get deactivated for multi-apping. If you know what you're doing, no, you won't be deactivated for multi-apping. Same thing as people saying, hey, you'll be deactivated for a low acceptance rate. No, you won't be deactivated for a low acceptance rate. It literally states that. But people were making up these things and it was spreading throughout the community. And I said, you know what? I'm going to be Get Coach Jake, the black version. I'm going to be Get Coach Jake. No, you can't be deactivated. So that was my turning point, bro. I had to experience feeling the bottom. I needed to be at the very bottom, panic mode, trying to figure out what am I going to do because this was my only source of income and I did nothing wrong, but then they made a business move that did not benefit me. I had to literally come up with a plan. And ever since then, I've just been adding apps, and just continue to multi-app. I've literally multi-apped while on an Amazon Flex run. I saw a great Grubhub for like $40 and I was going to drop off a package over at that area. I grabbed that Grubhub, go deliver it and finish my route. I literally became a multi-apping beast, man. And I had to experience what it felt like being at the very bottom. Do you feel... And don't get me wrong, chat. I know it's approaching 10 o'clock, but we're having this conversation with Jake, okay? Basically, it's not going to end at 10 unless Jake has somewhere to go. But do you feel that is what needs to happen to a driver for them to change their mindset, to experience what it feels like being at the bottom after being extremely loyal or after just going through something that does not benefit them and they have to now think like, how am I going to feed my family? How am I going to take care of myself? Do you feel like that is what needs to happen for every driver to have that turning point like I did?
Hopefully not, but it's almost like a bad relationship where someone has to cheat on you or do something really to walk away from it or realize that you deserve better. I mean, I know that's a harsh example, but yeah. What you just explained,
yeah,
and being like you said, you were loyal, you did all these things, and then all of a sudden it was like, you don't care about me.
Yeah,
and they don't. It was just selfish intentions.
Yeah,
and Grubhub used to be pretty transparent with things.
Yeah,
and they started monkey see, monkey do, and copying a lot of stuff that DoorDash was doing because they were getting their butts kicked, and now just they're in the rear view. It's not a matter of if, it's a matter of time before Grubhub is no more. So those of you that are real loyal to Grubhub, you might want to start dabbling in some of these other apps and get familiar with them before that time comes. I mean, look, their CEO, that he jumped ship.
Yeah.
And some people think that it's the people that bought him out that's screwing everything for Grubhub. Nah, man, they were playing with this. They did away with, like you said, the driver specialist and all that a long time ago.
Yep.
I used to be able to, there was a local office, used to be able to go and speak to my driver specialist.
Wow.
It's funny because he let me know. He's like, oh yeah, we watch all your videos. And, it's like someone in the office wanted to get you deactivated, because you're out there teaching people how to cherry pick. And he's like, I didn't see much wrong with it. And then to be honest with you, we didn't have any grounds to deactivate you.
Yeah.
You got to cross your T's and dot your I's. Screenshot everything.
Yeah.
In different situations. Make sure you have proof. So when you are paused, that you can provide some proof of, no, you've been holding me up on deliveries. So for example, Grubhub, You get an offer, you show up. I know that they're hiding it. It's funny, just yesterday, after I put out a video recently, now they go back to hiding all information. You have to show up to the restaurant, which is fine. I'm going to do that anyway, because I need to hit a ride before I can go on and do something else, knowing that I'm going to be waiting. There was one instance this weekend where I showed up to the delivery, or I accepted and showed up, and actually was enough time to where it should have been ready. And I walked right in, they were bagging it up. I was shocked. But that might happen sometimes. So if you just hit a ride and go on to the next one without really paying attention to the details, you're then going to prolong that delivery. That's something they can use to pause or deactivate you. So make sure that you're working within your rights and pay attention to the details. Screenshot. I will go to the customer's information after I've hit arrived, and I want to see what time that order was placed. I know that they're hiding some of this information. There should be full transparency. I'm an independent contractor. With DoorDash, I should be able to say what the pay is at the end.
Yeah.
They know how much the tip is before I've received it. There's no reason why they should be hiding, manipulating. Yeah. I shouldn't see $6.50 and then drop off and get, like yesterday, $25.
Yeah.
I accepted it was a $6.50 offer. And I know I'm not going to put out a lot of information or details on that, because these companies do monitor the stuff that us YouTubers, gig tubers put out there, so they can make adjustments and changes as we inform people.
Right.
And that's where I went and created a side. It was like a Facebook of sorts, but I can't even remember the name. Discourse or something like that.
Discord.
I think Discourse. Where I charge a small fee for people to be part of it. And I kind of had to use that as a barrier. Like, how do I keep the people out there that are going to report this information back to the companies, or are going to disrupt me putting out good, helpful information for people that I can't really share on YouTube, because companies just make adjustments.
Right.
Perfect example is Para. Look what happened with Para.
Yeah.
Boom. We had tip transparency. That blew people's minds. That really opened a lot of eyes. It's like, holy crap, man. Like, they know what we're making, what we should get paid beforehand, and they're just manipulating the situation to force us into making bad decisions. And they're great at it. Another example is DoorDash, when they shortened your window to accept an offer.
Right.
If you're away from that screen and you're a multi-apper, you may not necessarily be on DoorDash. If you have the screen open, you're going to have 25 seconds or whatever it may be. And I know that changes. But if you aren't, I think you have like 10 seconds. Grubhub copied that. Yeah. Now with Grubhub, if you don't have them up front, all of a sudden you click back to the thing and say, oh, offer time expired. And you're like, what the heck? That was like 5-10 seconds. That's just their way to scare you into having them up front.
Yeah.
Because if I don't have it up front, I'm not going to be able to see the offer. Now, everybody's different. Your market's different. So you're going to have to test out which one's the best in your market. For some people, it might be Grubhub. Still, very small percentage. Some it might be Uber Eats. Uber Eats super efficient to where they get the orders to people. And when you show up, rarely a wait time. DoorDash has kind of gotten a little bit about it. You might wait 5 minutes at some of these places. But for me, I'm like, sweet. That gives me time to complete another delivery with Grubhub, or maybe it's Uber Eats. I can go to the bathroom. I can stop and get gas.
Right.
There's a lot of things you can do with that time, but I always stressed and talked about know your market. And what that is paying attention to the merchants that are going to keep you waiting.
Yeah.
The places that don't put in the order right away because they don't pay attention to the tablets. Busy times, knowing when it's super busy on a Friday or Saturday or Sunday or a holiday, which places to completely avoid because they're packed. They're going to take care of all their in-house. They're going to have a buttload of offers coming in. You might be, a great example is like Mother's Day. Mother's Day is one of the worst, where these places are so slammed. It could be an hour and a half from the time that you accept it to where it's actually going to be done. Those are days where I just take off completely and I'm like, you know what, I'm going to enjoy the family, or I'm going to go do something else, because it's just going to be a struggle. Right. Or I'm going to do fast food deliveries. I'm going to do a lot of Chipotle, Panda Express, McDonald's, Taco Bell, spots where I'm not going to have to wait as long, where they're not slammed in-house. They're not getting as many offers, because people are going to like the nicer restaurants and whatnot. But again, knowing your market, maybe you're taking notes. For some people, they don't like to multi-app because it creates a lot of anxiety and stress for them. There's a lot of decisions you have to make on the fly, and there's nothing wrong with that. Yeah. So find out what your bread and butter is. When it's slower, you have to run more apps because it increases your probability for getting some decent offers and keep money coming in. That way you're not on just DoorDash and you're like, oh, I'm going to have to take this $3 so I make at least $3 this hour. I saw a video just the other day, a guy talking about, it's like, it took like 2 crappy deliveries. Like, well, at least I made $10 this hour. You know what? I'm a person of principle.
Yeah.
I'd rather make 0 than take their garbage offers and do something. I don't care if I'm on my phone just diddling around. I'm not running your trash. I'm not a garbage man. And when we do that, we empower them to keep screwing us. When people accept $3, $4, and $5 offers, that gives them the data. These are data collection companies.
Yeah.
When they see enough people are accepting this crap, they keep doing it.
Yeah.
When there's enough people logging on and scheduling shifts, you don't see any peak pay. Peak pay comes from not enough people on schedule. They're like, crap, we need to throw an extra. It's amazing what $1 will do. $1. All of a sudden, people want to go work 9 o'clock at night to midnight on a weekend because they're getting an extra $1.
Right. Yeah.
But you know what? With that $1, they could pay you less. The stacking offers, taking $1 from you on DoorDash from stacking, it was like, wait a minute. I'm doing you a favor by running multiple deliveries at once, and you're paying me less while you charge the same percentage to the restaurant. You still get the same money. You're charging the same delivery fee, but we're the ones taking a hit, $1 at a time. Think about it, that adds up real fast. People will think, oh, that ain't that much. For them, it's millions. Think about how many DoorDash deliveries are done on a regular basis.
Yeah.
$1 at a time, that's millions of dollars that they're siphoning away from us for nothing.
Yeah.
In fact, that creates more stress and anxiety. And how many times, as a dasher, all of you, have you done a stacked offer and one of them was holding you up?
Okay.
Pretty often.
Yeah.
And what they'll do is they will stack a trash offer that people aren't accepting with a good one. And with there no being any transparency of pay, you're going to accept it. Now, where you can see is when you accept the offer, it'll show the amount for that one delivery. And I've done where I'm like, okay, this is a really big stacked offer. One of them's probably trash. The other one's probably good based on maybe the item count or whatever information I have there.
Right.
I will then accept it. I will toggle back and forth to see which one's guaranteed what. So say one is like $8.50 and the other one's $3.50. Oh, hell no. I'm going to unassign at $8.50, which you can do. You go assign it.
Hold on, Jake. Hold on. It seems like we're having a little bit of an internet issue. All right, so I'm gonna take you off the screen really quick, Jake. If you don't mind, I'm gonna bring you back to the stream. But would you mind doing what you did earlier when we had this little bit of a technical issue with the internet? Can you
log out and come back?
Go ahead, log out and come back, and I'll get you back up on the screen. All right, temporarily, family. I am going to, you heard what I just told Jake. He's going to log off, and he's going to come back. And when he comes back, he's going to let me know when he's back. And but temporarily, I want y'all to put y'all questions in the chat. I've seen only 2 questions so far, but I want y'all to ask all your questions before Jake goes back to hitting turning on that camera and just delivering that information he feels like we need to know. All right. I do have a question that I'm going to ask him when he returns, but I'll just wait for him. So make sure you ask your questions. Whatever the question is, maybe I asked it already, but if I happen to miss a question that you back, Jake?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so let's get you back up on the screen.
I just saw a comment from someone talking about that DoorDash starting to hide what they pay individually on those.
Okay.
Again, it should be transparent. I should be able to see what each one pays. Now, how many contractors out there do you know that are going to accept the job without knowing the pay? That's essentially a contract you just agreed to when you accept an offer.
Yeah.
It's binding. I should have all the information. Another example is customer changes the location on you mid-delivery. No, I accept it to this location for this dollar amount. You all need to figure it out. You need to force them to either pay you more, which I've had them do, or they need to cancel it. You got the free food and you move on. You get the half pay. That's not your screw up.
Yeah.
You accept it to that place. So I always stress screenshot every offer before you accept it. Why? That's the only proof you have of what you agreed to up front.
Yep. Only proof. Now, there were some people that were saying, at one point, they were saying like the mileage would change, or the offer would, I think it was the mileage that would change after the fact. My stance on that was, if I screenshot and I saw like say $9 going 3 miles, and then when I start the delivery, it says $9 going, like my route is going to be 15 miles. I said that I would not do 15 miles for $9. I have proof that it said $9 for 3 miles. So if it changed to 15, doesn't mean that I'm obligated to do those 15 miles. I would call and, no, I'm not doing 15 miles, and I have my proof. Do you agree with me or you disagree?
Yeah, real quick, everyone says there's an echo going on.
An echo.
Bunch of feedback saying,
hold on one second. My bad, family.
You just got to shut that off again, right?
Just 1 second. Can I get a mic check?
Mic check, 1, 2.
Okay, you guys got an echo. Just give me a thumbs up emoji if the echo is gone or if it's still there. Thumbs up emoji. Want to make sure that y'all have a good, it is echoing but understandable. Okay. I just want to make sure y'all have a good experience watching this.
Yep.
I don't want to continue the conversation just yet.
Yeah, it's saying still the echo. I didn't change it.
No, Rasha Lisa saying it's good to go.
Okay.
All
Sweet.
Right. Okay. All right. Awesome. Thank you. So, Jake, do you agree? Well, I think I should say it again since it was such a bad echo. All right. If an offer comes in $9 for 3 miles, and then the mileage changes after I start the delivery to like 15 miles, do you agree that I do not have to do those 15 miles even if I started the delivery?
Absolutely. They changed the contract on you. They need to either pay you more. They will try to unassign, but you're going to get penalized.
Yeah.
But it either needs to be pay you more or cancel it and send a new one to a different driver. You're not obligated. That is not what you originally agreed to. And you have to be firm on that.
Right.
When you contact support through the chat, they're going to try and manipulate you into a bad situation.
Yep.
You just have to be firm and no, that doesn't work for me. That's not what I agreed to.
Okay. So I really want the chat. I really want them to have their questions answered. Okay. We could talk all day. I know we can. And I know that we'll probably agree on a lot of things, Jake, because again, you were my teacher, bro. Maybe not 100% my teacher, but I want to say at least 80% of the knowledge that I've gained in the gig economy was because of you and your video. So I got to give you, I know I could talk to you all day. But anyway, I want to ask just a few questions here. Rasha Lisa is asking about your Patreon. Are you going to continue that, or that's kind of like a wrap?
Yeah, I'm going to get back to that, the Patreon, the Discourse community, because again, that was a place where I could provide information that I couldn't on YouTube because the companies just use it to make changes.
Okay. All right. Pedro DoorDash Santiago says, Jake, welcome back. Do you think DoorDash is growing too fast? That's the first question, and then there's a second one, but go ahead and answer the first.
Now, look, clarifying going too fast. What does that mean? DoorDash has been very aggressive in everything they've done, and they're pretty calculated. That huge merger that they just made just opens up a lot of avenues for them internationally. And now they're a direct threat for, I think it's Just Eat, Takeaway, or whatever, the people that bought out Grubhub.
Yeah.
They're a big threat to them.
Yeah.
Now on that international level.
Yep.
Yeah, everything they've done is, I mean, I got to give credit where it's due.
Yeah.
They do a damn good job. But again, they're using all the data that's out there, the data that we provide, and they make some pretty good decisions.
And then Pedro DoorDash Santiago also says, without actually fixing some of the current issues. Do you think they're growing too fast without fixing some of the current issues?
Absolutely. They're really quick to change things and just try and test it out.
Mm-hmm.
They always want to make changes to the app. I'm like, if it isn't broke, don't fix it. I'm dealing with a lot of problems with the app right now because they do make too many changes at once. They fiddle around with a lot of things instead of just keeping it simple. And that's why we run into some of these problems with the apps, because they're throwing too many things at it without working the bugs out. So people, I'm not a IT guy. I don't know a ton about technology.
Mm-hmm.
I know enough and I learn as I go, but there's some people out there that know a lot better about what I'm talking about when it comes to apps and making updates and really having to work out the bugs before making another change and all the things you throw into these algorithms. They create a problem elsewhere. For example, these disappearing offers. You've accepted an offer, all of a sudden, poof, it's gone off the screen.
Yeah.
You got to refresh a couple times before it pops back up, sometimes 3 times.
Right. That happened to me yesterday.
It's happened to me a bunch. Now, there's a theory out there, that they're doing it intentionally to get people eventually deactivated from the platform. Maybe it's someone like myself that is constantly around 20% acceptance rating or a little lower. So to get rid of us, the people that work as true independent contractors, so they can keep funneling these new people that are clueless. And we're clueless at one point. So don't take that as a bad thing, a negative comment. But yeah, they're moving too fast with some of those things. The disappearing offers, I almost think it's a glitch in the system because of the times it's happened. It's happened after I've confirmed pickup. It's happened after I accept it. There was a point where I thought in the beginning, like, okay, if you delay your arrival, because if it's a place like I know Chipotle, they're not going to have it right away. I can wait till I get that 5-minute text saying, we haven't seen you moving towards a delivery. Because I know I'm just going to be sitting at the restaurant waiting. And there's sometimes where I need to get there quicker so they get that receipt off their clipboard, and every place is different. Like the Chipotle near me, they literally will take them, they put them on a clipboard next to where the line comes in, and they will sit there. I'll walk in, there'll be 6 of them sitting up there. If they have a long enough line, they're going to help people in the store. And once you tell them the name, they're like, okay, such and such is here. And then they'll start making it. So if you delay your arrival by 10 minutes and you still have to wait on it, you delayed yourself even more. And time is money. Time management is one thing we need to focus on the most. Places that are costing us time, constant waits, those multi-app, knowing when you're going to have some waits, that can be a good thing. So, for example, there might be a place where I know they never get the offer done right away. They're always super slow on that. I can complete a Grubhub delivery before I go get that DoorDash, or vice versa. I can accept a Grubhub knowing I have enough time to complete this DoorDash offer and get to that one.
Now, wait, before you even continue, the fact that you're bringing up that point, just hold your thought really quick, right? Just recently, I had a driver call in and said that they have heard that I'll give you the entire scenario. Basically, an order comes in, a driver accepts it, gets to the restaurant. The time that they arrive, they receive a text message from Grubhub saying that the order is not going to be ready until 3 hours later. Now, that was a brat of the day, and the driver called in and said that they heard that, hey, I can be deactivated for leaving the restaurant. If the order is worth it, I say I have left many times, Jake, but hearing that a driver tell me that you can be deactivated, or they heard that they can be deactivated for leaving the restaurant because they track us. What's your thoughts on that?
They can't. You're not an employee. I'm an independent contractor. If the order's not ready for me to pick up and it's not going to be ready, I'm going to screenshot, or maybe if it's a conversation with driver care, I'm going to have my dash cam rolling. I'm going to have that audio for evidence. There's a few different things you can do. The body cam, I've always suggest having a body cam. There's times where you walk into a merchant and you do some stuff that you might want to have evidence of, just in case they do something with your account that you have to back that up. But years ago, Grubhub did that where it would end up being a scheduled delivery. And it'd be like, oh, well, this isn't supposed to be made till such and such time. It was like an hour, maybe 2 hours later. Now, if you're running multi-apps, you can leave that. If it's a really big payout, you can keep that on your app and go run other deliveries. You're not going to receive another offer on that platform at that time, in that time frame. So again, it's back to, is it worth it? Can I go make money on this other app and just leave this one sitting? Do they need to cancel it and give me some type of pay? Do they need to unassign it without penalty? DoorDash, they're rarely going to unassign a delivery without hitting your completion rating.
Right.
If they get you to unassign, if they unassign for you, you're going to take a ding. So back to those disappearing offers. What happens is that you don't think it's there. You think the offer is gone, that whatever happened, and you're going to move on to the next. Well, you're not going to receive any other offers. And at a certain point, it's going to be unassigned. You're going to take a hit to your completion rating. And it doesn't take long to get to 80% and below, especially if someone's kind of on the border. I like to keep mine at 90% and above, just in case something happens, or if there's a run of situations where I'm having long waits and I need to unassign quite a few in a row. Like I was at 97% a week ago, and I did have a run of ones that were long wait. I unassign and move on to the next one. The quicker that you unassign that delivery, the quicker that you can start accepting and seeing more offers and move on to a better one and make some money. Or with the example with Grubhub, I can show up and hit arrived. And if I seen the diner just placed the order 2 or 3 minutes ago, and I know this restaurant takes 15, 20 minutes to get it done, there's no way it's going to be done.
Right.
It's within my right now to leave that restaurant and go complete another delivery.
Right.
The one person you need to inform, though, might be the customer. Now, I know common sense should tell the customer if they just placed it.
Yeah.
It's not going to be ready that quick. But hey, sometimes
common sense ain't common, bro. Ain't always
common sense isn't so common, right? And that's true, unfortunately. But the customer that likes to hawk the app and watch your location, you want to inform them, let them know, hey, I showed up to the restaurant. It's not going to be ready for such time, and you move on. Yeah. You can, in the app, you can go in there and click that the offer's not ready and select those options in Grubhub. Screenshot all that. So if it comes back later and they're saying, whoa, you're holding up deliveries or whatever they want to say, you're like, no, I have all this proof for where you're holding up the deliveries by not dispatching it to me in a timely manner. How many times have you got, those of you who do Grubhub, received the offer, accepted it, and it's shortly after you get the confirmation screen. The order is just confirmed. That means they just received it from the tablet, input it, and it's just getting started.
I have a question for you. This is a question for me and for whoever else that's watching, because I'm thinking one way, and I am going to ask you to see what your thoughts are on this. All right, so we are signing a contract, signing an agreement, and when we received an offer, we're going into another agreement. Like we accepted that job, and okay, now we must complete it, right? Based on what we signed, every job you accept, you're going to complete it. That's what you promised when you put your signature on that agreement, right? So let me ask you this. If we arrive at the pickup location and it says pick up by, Uber does not say pick up by. So we're going to cancel out Uber. Let's just focus on DoorDash and Grubhub. If it says pick up by 11 a.m., you arrive at 10:50 and it's not ready. You decide to wait till 11 a.m., right? If it goes to 11:01, is that a breach of the contract on their part?
It is and it isn't, because there's so many factors that are out of their hands. They basically use previous data from that restaurant to then estimate the pickup time. So for them, it's an estimate.
Okay. And so that's where they could defend themselves. It's an estimate. There's a
lot of get around for them. They have so many scapegoats. Whether it's the restaurants, the driver.
I didn't think about it like that.
Zero responsibility in all these situations. They wash themselves of being held responsible.
Gotcha.
They're really good at it.
Okay.
But somebody just made a question about asking about DoorDash glitching all the time. And the reason that they glitch all the time in their app is because, again, they're trying to put so many new things in the app, trying so many things, instead of just keeping it simple and stick to the stuff that works.
Mm-hmm.
And if they quit playing all these games, so if that theory is right about them basically having something programmed for those offers to disappear, to eventually wash out people like myself that aren't tricked into being an employee type relationship where I'm accepting a high percentage of the offers. Like when the top dasher came out, it was 60% and above, and you're qualified. And then they moved it up to 70%.
Yeah.
Don't be surprised if at some point it's 75 or 80% and above, because these companies, they'll move the dial a little at a time. Oh, they won't notice, or they'll get used to that, and then they'll move it a little more.
Yeah.
But
okay.
I'm not sure about that theory. It might be right. It might not. It could just be the app glitching, and I've provided that information to them. So the other thing that people can do in these situations to create some type of evidence for yourself, do not hesitate to hit that chat support through the message and then screenshot the entire conversation.
Yeah. Yeah.
I do it all the time, and all I'm doing is creating a paper trail that covers my behind.
Some don't want to do that, man. Is I know my phone gets loaded up with screenshots, but some don't want to do that as far as like, to cover themselves. They feel like if they have to do that, they rather just unassign or reassign that order. They don't want to have to deal with all of that. If they got to call support, if they got to chat with support, record the conversation, just it seems like it's a headache for a lot of people. Maybe not majority, but a portion of the driver community. It feels like it's a headache to go through all of that. They just want to get their money and move on. What words do you have for drivers that think that way?
It can be a pain, but at a certain point, you might be happy that you did all that. And back to being a business owner. Think about how many business owners that don't want to do all the paperwork and do all that stuff that you have to do as a business.
Yeah.
There's people that are great at doing what they're doing and having a business, but they're not so great at the administrative stuff. I'm one of them. I hate the administrative stuff. I just want to log on and hustle and make my money.
Yeah.
But unfortunately, these companies created an environment where we have to. I mean, they play so many games and there's so many things that can trip us up, that having that paper trail are going to save your butt at some point.
Yeah.
Where you haven't got to go pay some hacker on Instagram to get your account reactivated. Those scams that are running around out there. But that's another topic in its own.
Yeah. I look forward to that video. Now, the very last question I have for you, Jake, and it's from creator to creator. And again, I really wanted some people to ask questions, but I guess not many people have questions. I guess I'm asking some really good questions, right? But from creator to creator. All right. I have something called DFAM Roundtable. Okay. Now, the DFAM Roundtable, the purpose of it is to have two different opinions, right? And I express mine, you express yours, but we're not arguing. We're just stating our opinions, and we stand our ground. I know you will, and I will as well. If I happen to disagree with something that you might say, and I invite you to the DFAM Roundtable, would you be willing to have that back and forth with me? Not to stress you out. I'm not trying to stress you out, but I'm just trying to have a conversation, and maybe you can change my mind, or maybe I can change your mind in the end. But the point of it is just have a civilized conversation that the community can actually not necessarily choose sides, but they can see two different opinions and possibly make a decision for themselves in their market after the fact, based on whatever the topic is. Would you be willing to have a DFAM Roundtable with me anytime in the future? Anytime in the future on whatever topic it might be.
Absolutely. It's a shame that as a society that we can't have differing opinions anymore, and it has to get so hostile.
Yeah.
I mean, the aggressiveness that's out there now because someone leans right or left or feels this way about religion. One of the great things about being an American is you can believe in what you want. Right? And now everybody's trying to pigeonhole someone. It's like, No, we can have different opinions. And sometimes having those conversations helps you change your perceptions or see the other side. I know there's a lot of conversation I have with my brother, close friends, family that help me see another side that I really didn't see or perceive from my own self through my own eyes. You know, we all have our different filters.
Okay.
And to have an open mind, and it's okay to have different opinions. It's okay. There's a lot of things I'm going to say and put out there that people don't agree with. They could just take some of the stuff that they do agree or that they think is applicable and put it into their own system or their own decision making. It's okay to not agree on everything and have different opinions. Nothing wrong with that.
All right. Well, I just wanted to make sure you were open to having a conversation with me, man. You know, just your opinion versus my opinion, and, you know, just a friendly battle between creators. It's not a problem. Now, again, you know, just because I have learned a lot from you doesn't mean that I can't disagree with you. And the same thing for anyone else, you know, that's watching. I always say, Jake, hey, if I say something you don't agree with, I'm all for a challenge. You know, as long as you can keep it civil, I'm all for a challenge. There's a lot of research that I've done that caused me to want to create this video or have this strong opinion in the whatever the topic is that I'm talking about. So I have all this data that I've collected. So if you challenge me, you better come with it. You know, you better bring it. So I just feel like, you know, it's good for the community to just hear two different opinions, because sometimes I feel like some people are influenced and they're so stuck in one way, they're not willing to look at it from a different perspective. And having a conversation with the person that thinks one way and another person that thinks a different way can cause that viewer to have, maybe we could bring this a little, we can have some kind of meeting here. I don't know, meet in the middle with their way of thinking. And I feel like it would be very informative for the community to watch influencers do this on a more regular basis. So that's why I wanted to, not necessarily saying that I have an idea or something that I wanted to talk about already, but you know, at least wanted to extend the invitation in advance. Hey, Jake, would you be willing to have a DFAM roundtable with me on this topic in the near future or far in the future? Because we agree on a lot of things. So, hey, Jake, man, you know, I appreciate you for calling. I'm not calling, but coming on the show.
Even if there's a topic that your audience or my audience has that is one that there is a lot of two sides, and we can maybe discuss that, right? So
yeah,
maybe it's not one that you and I disagree with that we both agree on, but something that the community kind of struggles with. And I'm sure there's some really good ones out there. So if people have something in mind, you know, some suggestions for that round table to where we can really discuss it and go back and forth and break it down. But everyone's different in so many different ways.
Right.
Our backgrounds, our situations, someone that has a family. I don't have kids, so someone that may have, you know, kids at home that they have to support and keep money coming in. There's a lot of things that affect our decision making, our stress levels, and then make us so much different. Our markets, for example. I mean, we don't get snow here in Arizona where I'm working. I don't have to worry about dealing with the snow. People that deliver in the snow have a lot more to think about when they log on, what they're accepting. I mean, there's just so many things that affect that to where what I say and put out there doesn't even apply to a certain percentage of the people. And we're like, oh, I can't do that here. There's just no effing way.
Right.
You're right. There is no way. But, you know, through some simple principles that I teach, and I've taught people that have come to me for coaching and whatnot, there are some principles within this that you can follow no matter where you're at, what your market is, and then figure out a system for yourself.
Yeah.
That works.
So, Jake, man, I definitely appreciate you coming on, man. I definitely, again, appreciate you for giving me the opportunity to give you an official welcome back to the YouTube community. I was concerned about your return, to be honest, because I when you said that's why I asked you that question about are you going to be able to deal with the stress, because it has amplified a lot more drivers, a lot more division, a lot more people saying, hey, you know, this creator is better than that creator. I always get people saying things like, oh, that's why your views are low. That's why your subscriber count is this and that. And I'm like, man, I don't care about that. If you really look at it, like majority of the content, and I'm speaking to the audience at this time, but majority of the content that are focused on one specific thing, they grow a lot faster, because if a person is interested in that content only and only that content, they're always going to go back to watch that person's videos. But my channel is a great source of information and entertainment. I'm cool. I'm a clown at times, you know, and I'm cool with y'all clowning on me at times as well. You know, just like I said, I'm the gig coach Jake, the black version. You know, like that made a few people laugh, but at the end of the day, I really take that seriously. I want to put out as much information as possible, not just about food delivery. I want to put out as much information as possible about everything that I can find. And my channel is not, it's not every video that you're going to be interested in watching, because you just might be a DoorDash or a food delivery driver. But tomorrow I'm talking about car delivery. What? I don't want to watch no car delivery. You know, like, you know, so of course my subscriber count is not going to be as high. But I feel as a gig worker, there's so much information out here that we should be sharing with each other, and not many people want to share this information, or not many people know about this information. So I try my best to put it out there. Right. And as a fellow gig worker, Jake, I want to say thank you again for the last time for allowing me, a student, 80% of the time, a student, to at least welcome you back to the gig space on YouTube. You're awesome. And also thank you as well for giving me the opportunity in advance to challenge you on certain things in a civilized way if I disagree. All right. So anything else you want to say to the family before I start wrapping this up?
By being challenged, that's how we grow. You know, so it's good to be challenged. And I want to thank you. I want to thank the community, everyone, for their support. One of my main goals in putting out YouTube videos was to empower and teach other people so they can go teach people in their community. Other creators go out and create their own videos. I'm not the guru. I'm not the main guy. I mean, there's a lot of people out there, and there's a lot of different ways to kind of teach us stuff. But to teach people how to be a true independent contractor and what rights that they do have when these companies are really good at scaring people into bad situations. So I thank you, and I thank the community for all the support. I appreciate the kind words and feedback.
All right, not a problem, Jake. Hey, you earned it, bro. I know a lot of other people feel the same exact way that I feel. All right, I'm putting your channel in the chat right now. I am gonna also pin it at the top of the comment section. Family, if you have any additional questions that I might not have asked, if you're watching on the replay, just leave a comment down below. And Jake, you agree that you're gonna respond for like at least for the next couple of hours? All right, cool. Because I won't be able to answer your questions, man.
I'll probably check after a day and then answer a bunch of them in a row, and then check the following day or whatnot.
Okay.
And before I part, when you reject so many offers on DoorDash and they want to pause your stuff, just hit resume.
Yeah.
That's all you got to do. Just resume. And give them a big...
that right there.
Yeah. Just resume and say screw you.
That's the happy finger. That's the happy finger. You see how happy I got when you put it on the screen?
That's all right.
Yeah.
Screw you, resume.
Yep.
I'm allowed to reject. And I've even hammered them in support chat. Why are you doing this? Why are you trying to manipulate people?
Yeah. All right, Jake. Well, thank you. Definitely appreciate it. And you have a blessed day, brother. And we'll talk. We'll talk after the stream is over.
All right. Thank you. You as well.
All right. Have a good one. Later. All right, family. That was Gig Coach Jake. It was definitely a great conversation. I appreciate you, Jake, for being here. I've said it a lot and I meant it. And I mean it each and every time. Family, if you enjoyed this stream, make sure you do us a favor and you squeeze the life out the blasted like button. Squeeze the life out of it, right? I know my accent is kind of mixed up there, but I know there are some people that disagree with, or some people like me, some people don't like me. Some people like Jake, some people don't like Jake. And if there's some dislikes on this video already, hey, it is what it is. Like Jake said, we don't care. We don't care, to be honest with you. As long as I feel like I'm putting out quality information for you, the viewer, even if it's 2% dislikes and the rest are likes, at least it's leaning more towards the people that enjoyed the video or they got something from it. So that's my focus. It has always been my focus. It's never been about the subscriber count or even the view count. It doesn't matter to me. I'm trying to help you. I know how to get my money. I get my money when I need to go out here and get my money. When you say it's slow, even if you're in my market, I'm like, what are you doing? I'm getting my money. How are you getting yours? So I hope you enjoyed it. I really do. But I want to do some more things like this. There's been a lot of negativity in the community, a lot of my opinion versus your opinion, and not many civilized conversations. And it caused a lot of tension, and it caused a lot of people to not even want to watch certain creators anymore. And I'm just trying to be that bridge, bring this community together. I want to bring it together. We could have conversations and disagree. I disagree with my friends all the time. I disagree with the wife all the time. All the time. Do I win? No. I don't win. But, we could disagree, And I want to make sure that we could at least bring this community together, even if we have differences in opinions. And this is how we're going to be able to possibly make changes moving forward, because if all of us are doing the same thing, then we can make change. For instance, if none of us is taking lowball offers, then they're going to be forced to make change. You understand? So I appreciate y'all for tuning in. Definitely enjoyed this stream. And I think it's worth a little bit of fart music, right? I hope you are willing to hear some fart music this morning. Huh? You willing to hear some fart music? So have a good day, y'all. What? Hey. Ha. If I did not give you a shout out, say what's up in the chat so I can say what's up back to you. Understand boxing. What's up? Rasha Lisa, thank you for joining. Robert Wright. Hey, Christy in Ohio. Rhonda Williams, Jen V, Jacqueline Taylor, Gig Hustler. Appreciate y'all for joining us. Richard Long Break, Side Hustle 247. CJ. I don't know how to say your last name. So I'm going to just call you CJ. Have a good day, y'all. Monique Milner. Chris. Edwin Perez. Shout out to y'all. Nico. What's up? Gig Economy Talk with Lynn. Azandra. That's a nice name. I like that. Benjamin Gollard. Oh, I'm sorry. Gaylord. I apologize in advance. David Cordray. Good morning. Rhonda Williams. Mitch Bass. Good morning. Big K954. Good morning. Prince of Zamunda. Hold up. Prince of Zamunda? Good morning to you. Oh my goodness. Prince of Zamunda. You're taking me back to Coming to America. Jerome Walker, good morning to you. And I appreciate you for tuning in. Oh man, Bud Soda, good morning, bro. Anyway. Oh man, I really enjoyed that name. I'm sorry. I really enjoyed that name. So anyway, family, y'all be safe, and let's do the official outro now. All right. Oh yeah. What time it is, family? Put it in the chat. It's time to what? Go get your money.
Y'all didn't get to see a lot of what the people were saying, but that